Good morning, everyone that is watching. I am your child's seventh grade math teacher, Mr. Nickel, and I wanted to kind of give a in-depth explanation with a video, like what math is in my classroom, what does it look like, how are students graded, what's expected of them, and hopefully that'll answer a lot of confusion or answer any questions about how I grade and what's required of students. So here we go. So here's my Canvas homepage. If you haven't seen it before, this is what it looks like. Two important things for you and also the children are my modules and the help button here. This help button is a great way for students to fill out the intervention form if they want to get pulled for me for plus, so they can get help in math class during that last 30 minutes of plus time. This is a way for students to tell me that they need help. So they can click this button. It'll open up a Google form. Looks like this. They can fill it out, and then I'll pull them that next day that they have plus. So if students ever, like one of your children ever say, "Oh, I need help in math. How can I get help?" Well, this is a great way to do it. They can fill out the intervention form. Okay. Now, also when we go to modules, so I'm going to give you a quick little rundown, or I'll try to make it quick, of how to navigate my Canvas page, so you can kind of remind your children if they're confused or what your child is like, trying to tell you one thing or another. Like, no, this is how it is. So we just completed Unit 1. We just finished a quiz, so we're on Unit 2. So I want to show you what Unit 2 looks like from their perspective. So the very first thing is it has dates on every lesson we do, and it starts off saying the Unit 2 student pace tracker online. I'm going to click this. So this tracker allows students to track exactly what lesson they're on and check off things as they go. So it's a great tool to self-regulate like they're learning, and for them to be held accountable. So we start off with lesson 2.0, which is today, and they have a must-do. Must-dos are labeled as MDs. You might see that in a grade book for video notes, like video notes in lesson 1.4 MD. MD means they have to do them every unit. Okay, if they don't do them, they can get a 0 in the grade book for certain assignments, or when I check them, they're not going to be able to complete a mastery check, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, so on this right side, once they complete something, they can check it off just like that. Okay. Now, the should-dos are light blue. Should-dos are exactly how they sound. They should do them to prepare for a mastery check or a quiz. They do not have to do should-dos. They're not counted against them. But if they don't complete them, I may tell them to go complete them if they do not pass a mastery check the first time. Okay? Now, MC, super important. Green is mastery checks. Mastery checks could be on paper or online, and they have to complete these each lesson to move on to the next lesson. Okay? So the amount per unit varies. So this one is an online Canvas quiz, lesson 2.0 mastery check. And they have to get an 80% in order to pass it. If they don't, I will tell them to go look at the redemption assignment. This redemption assignment is a video and a Khan Academy practice. They cannot move on to retake the mastery check unless they do this redemption assignment. So some students may never complete redemption assignments if they always pass the mastery check first try. Okay, so that's the main points of each lesson. Okay, so we have the must do, the should do, the mastery check, and a redemption. Now, some assignments and lessons have aspire to dos. Aspire to dos are labeled as AD. Now, they also might have an MD next to them because they are required. Aspire to dos are required. Okay, they're not optional. They're 5% of your grade or students' grades. I just changed it recently from 10 to 5. So they're 5% of their grade. They are required, but they're not the main priority for each lesson. They're enrichment. So they build off of what we're already learning in class. So if students have time, I tell every single student, go to the Aspire to-dos, right? So if they have time, they need to complete these. If they have time in plus class or study hall, they should be completing Aspire to-dos. Or if they have time in class, they're not optional. Some students, when they go home, they tell their parents that they're optional. They are not. They're 5% of your grade. And also, if students are wanting to potentially take algebra next year, okay, this is one of the requirements as well. They have to complete every Aspire to do through the entire year if they want to be considered for challenged algebra class next year. Okay, so those are all the details for every lesson. We could have a must do, a should do, a mastery check, Aspire to do, or redemption. Okay, now so your child may not have to do all of those depending on how they do on the mastery check, right? But Aspire to do's required, mastery checks required, and must do's required. Okay, so those are the components that are going to be making up your child's grade along with tests and quizzes. Okay, another key point, we just completed our Unit 1 quiz on Friday. So if students are wanting to retake the quiz, they will have that opportunity. They'll have to complete all of the work from lesson 1, and they will also have to complete a redemption assignment, which is on paper in my Canvas. It's on Canvas as well, but it's the paper copy I will be giving to students that want one. So if your child says they don't know how to retake, just know that I am giving them a paper copy of the review for the redemption retake, but they have to ask me for it. Okay, so I hope that answers all of your questions, or answers any relieves any confusion that you guys might have had in relation to math and your child's grades and PowerSchool. But please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any other questions regarding how I grade or what's required of your child, because I would love to communicate with you. And just really, I'm just here for your child and you, of course. So just let me know. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.